it's a complete disregard for the people that you're laying back from, because you're just willing to stick them in a four-wide situation where they're going to wreck or someone's going to wreck, and you just don't care. And that's what happened with the Larson and Chase thing, is that they laid back so much.
Denny Hamlin is no stranger to controversy, but his recent comments about Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott during the Iowa race have taken things to another level. On a day when the Cup Series was already full of drama, Hamlin let loose over what he considered reckless driving from two of NASCAR's biggest stars. The stakes in the NASCAR Cup Series have never been higher, and the race at Iowa Speedway was a prime example of that. During the event, two of the sport's top drivers engaged in aggressive, no-holds-barred racing that caught the attention of everyone watching. But when Denny Hamlin spoke out, it wasn't just a typical criticism, it was a bold statement with significant implications for both the drivers involved and the sport as a whole. It all started with a seemingly innocent restart in Stage 2, but what followed was anything but typical. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, two drivers from Hendrick Motorsports, found themselves battling it out with no real need to go three wide. In a sport where strategy and precision are key, their decision to squeeze into a risky three-wide formation sparked immediate tension. This wasn't a one-off move either. They battled side by side again just 20 laps later, each trying to outdo the other while vying for a spot in the middle lane. Fans could feel the tension, and it was only a matter of time before someone was going to pay the price for their high-risk tactics. As the race unfolded, frustration set in not just for the drivers, but for Denny Hamlin as well. He was watching from behind, and his frustration reached a boiling point as the Hendrick duo continued to make reckless moves. Hamlin is known for his calm demeanor, but in Iowa, the gloves were off. It didn't take long for Hamlin to speak out. On his podcast, Actions Detrimental, he laid the blame squarely on Larson and Elliott's shoulders. He was furious about what he saw as blatant disregard for the other drivers on the track, particularly those who were in the line of fire.
But, what I'm calling on is NASCAR officiating to do something about it, because it's a complete disregard for the people that you're laying back from, because you're just willing to stick them in a four-wide situation where they're going to wreck or someone's going to wreck, and you just don't care.
Hamlin's frustration didn't end there. He went on to explain how Larson and Elliott were deliberately laying back by 3 car lengths before making a dangerous move. Hamlin pointed out that these tactics were a recipe for disaster. According to him, it wasn't just bad driving, it was almost as if the drivers were daring someone to make a mistake.
And that's what happened with the Larson and Chase thing, is that they laid back so much, they must have been running 10 miles an hour faster, probably more than that, than the cars in front of them when they all took off. And then they both tried to shoot the gap at the same time in the middle. It's like they both deserved to wreck.
His voice tinged with disbelief, but it wasn't just Hamlin who was upset. Kyle Larson, who finished 28th after a tough race, was visibly frustrated over the team radio. After contact from Christopher Bell caused Larson to lose control, he let loose on his frustrations, yelling,
"Everything real, do I have to leave people? How's my ride recorder? All that stupid.
Yeah, we're going to look at it. I know those guys have been hard on you, man. Vin, yell at me, and then we're going to figure out how we're going to reset. I know you're mad. Stay mad for a few minutes, and we'll figure out our next move. I'll let you know on the image. Stand by.
Been quiet for 40 minutes. Man.
I'm telling you to yell. It's good.
I know.
Larson's anger was palpable, and it added fuel to the fire of already simmering tensions between the drivers. For his part, Chase Elliott finished in 14th place, but the battle between him and Larson clearly weighed heavily on both drivers. For Hamlin, this wasn't just a case of drivers being frustrated. It was about ensuring that the integrity of the sport remained intact. He made it clear that NASCAR needed to step in and take action. Hamlin's call for stronger officiating was a direct result of what he saw as an erosion of the racing code. He believes that NASCAR needs to hold drivers accountable for reckless behavior. While Hamlin's comments raised eyebrows, they also revealed a deeper issue within Hendrick Motorsports. The rivalry between Larson and Elliott isn't exactly news, but the heat between the two teammates was laid bare for everyone to see. It's clear that Hendrick Motorsports has a unique situation on its hands. Hendrick executives will be hoping that the friction between Larson and Elliott won't spill over into future races. With both drivers being top contenders for championships, their ability to work together as teammates is crucial for the team's success. But with emotions running high, it's hard to see how this won't impact their performances moving forward. As a veteran driver with years of experience, Hamlin's perspective carries weight. He's been around long enough to see the evolution of NASCAR and to recognize when the sports culture shifts, often for the worse. Hamlin isn't just about winning races. He's also committed to preserving the integrity of the sport and ensuring that NASCAR doesn't lose its appeal. As for Larson and Elliott, their behavior at Iowa may have opened up a much larger conversation about NASCAR's direction. If the sport doesn't rein in these tactics, we may be looking at even more heated rivalries and less clean racing. The lines between aggressive driving and reckless behavior are becoming increasingly blurred, and the consequences of letting it go unchecked could be dire. The fallout from Iowa will continue to dominate headlines in NASCAR, especially with Denny Hamlin's explosive comments. The real question now is whether NASCAR will step in and make the tough calls that could shape the future of the sport. For fans, drivers, and officials alike, this is a turning point, a moment that could define the direction NASCAR takes in the coming years. As we look ahead to the next race, the tension between Larson, Elliott, and Hamlin will be a central talking point. Fans will be watching closely to see how these drivers handle the pressure and whether NASCAR decides to step in with stronger officiating. It's clear that this feud is far from over, and with the stakes higher than ever, you can bet that the next race will be just as fiery as the last.